Hey everybody, so here's a screen capture to help us with the historical methods module. My neighbor is having a blast, a party next door with two of her friends, so if she hears some loud laughter, that's just them having a good time. I think it's awesome. So here we are in my AMH 2010 course, and again, as I want you to do is in every one of our courses we want to put the historical methods module that was created by UCF in Valencia. And I misspoke in the last video. If you watched that one, it was me and Nancy. Heather was doing some other good work, but she also overviewed. But me and Nancy, and then Daniel Murphy and another one of the UCF professors who did the writing, put it all together. All right. So if you land here on my home page, you can see that I have mine set up so that students can see all the modules that are due. This is the summer 6-week course. It'll change to 10 weeks, obviously, in the 10-week method. And you can see this is where you can get to historical methods module right here. For what it's worth, I have mine set up. This is part of what I'll do also in the fall and spring, to where it's open day 1, but it's not due till the end of week 2. And then I have it set up so that the 3rd week module, they cannot go forward until they complete it. My face-to-face class, it'll just be in there all by its lonesome, and there won't be any connection or anything tied together to it. It'll just be something that I require them to do for the face-to-face class, or something that we do in class. I'm sure I'll have some students miss it. I'll make them go back and do it anyway. So if you click here, it takes you into the module. And again, everything that was written here was written collectively by the 4 of us in an attempt to answer some questions that a larger group that did include Heather had tried to ascertain. What are the key things that would help our students get off to a good start? And so we had some ideas of what we wanted to accomplish. You can see all those if you look at the modules list that we thought these are the things they need to know. And you can read these for yourself, obviously. This isn't going to solve all of our problems. We thought of things about citations, of getting different sources, understanding the different types of sources, how to take notes. We thought all of that would be important. So that's kind of where we are. So I just want to show you really briefly what this kind of walks you through. And again, each one of these are kind of just a walkthrough type of thing. Students just kind of read through and go, with the final assignment being something that asks the students to kind of indicate that they do have this. Just kind of explain some things for students. Here's how to taking notes to understand history. So kind of talking about the note-taking concept of what happened. Some really good material down here that was provided by whoever built it. I didn't write this one. Value of the library, kind of the different things for library. There's links in here for UCF professors. There's no links for Valencia, but it kind of tells you how to get to that spot, how to do it. Understand the differences in sources, printed and electronic, what you're kind of looking for kind of good sources. Again, really good links, a lot of different things to help students, kind of showing them different places to go. Primary, secondary sources, how to understand the difference in those. Very good job of laying it out for students. And again, you could emphasize some of these in a lecture situation where you wanted students to do a certain thing, show them different thing. And the citation page is really, really good thing about plagiarism. This one has something which I'll show you. It's in the email, if you already saw it, where what you download will not have this last sentence. So I'll show you how we fix that in just a second. And then lastly, what's a thesis statement? Kind of working your way towards building the beginnings of either a research paper or even just a good argument for a in-class essay. And that all leads to an assignment. And everybody has an assignment that they do here. What you will see when you download the assignment, these are my instructions that I have here. You will not see these. You'll see something else. I like to provide the students a very in-depth set of instructions for all my assignments. If, by the way, you would like to have this verbiage, email me and I will send it to you. But the assignment prompt basically is asking them to work through and asking you to have them work through either a primary source or maybe a journal article that's connected to something you're teaching. So we're not asking you to add a new assignment that you don't do in your face-to-face or your online classes. But we are asking you to look at the assignments that you do, like what are you teaching on day 3, probably maybe day 4. So that's the second day of the second week, or your second week perhaps, or first week's online classes. What's a primary source working with them? So here in my AMH 2010 course, you can see I had them looking at the Mayflower Compact and the Puritan Sermon. Over here, this is my, let's get out of this, sorry. This is EUH 2001. Let me get to the assignment really quickly. The assignment in 2001 is looking at the writings of Abby Sayez connected to the French Revolution. This probably will not be what I use because I'm not there as fast in the normal semester. So this probably will be something like with the Enlightenment. Here, this is in EOH 2000. So what did I do in 2000? I use ancient law codes. So I have students compare ancient law codes. So when you look at these, the instructions are identical and do not change the instructions or kind of the what you ask them to do, because we tried to tie this part, this big square, back to the pages that you just went through. So one is trying to get them to understand who the author is, what did they write, and again, that could be if you did a journal article, it'd be totally fine. Is who is the author, when did they write, and what's the context? And again, you'll see all that is the same. And all three here I use numbers, and I think numbers probably is better. Then secondly, we asked them to show the kind of note taking, so write 2 brief notes, and we just decided to use tweeting. I ended up adding an extra sentence in mine because students got a little confused. I said the emphasis on a tweet is simply a way to signal to you that these should be short, and no, I'm not going to count the characters. And so Twitter now does 280 characters. So again, you can see that 280 characters, and all 3 of these 280 characters. This was my first class here, the 2000 course, and in the 2000 course I got an amazing example from a great student. So in the 2001 course, which is Summer B, in the AMH 2010 course, Summer B, I showed it to them because the EOH 2000 course, first time students didn't do a good job at this. I told them, you don't have to be this creative, but again, they got the point across that I'm just trying to get a real simple, short and sweet. You want the student to show you that they've got a basic grasp about note-taking, whether that's note-taking in class or note-taking to the textbook or to a reading. That's really what we're talking about. So the students did, when I showed them this, in these 2 classes, they did an amazing job. And I can send you all this verbiage. In fact, I probably will put it in the email. The third thing that they need to do then is, so in the writing the 2 brief notes, you need to guide them, right? You could just say write any 2 ideas, or you could guide them. So here you can see with this one, which is the Mayflower Compact and the sermon. So I've got 2 different documents, right? So I want them to write 2 notes, 2 for each document, and I want them to answer these questions. Here, Abiseas, there's just 1 document. So here what I told them to do is I want them to do 3 notes about the thing, and I gave them 3 specific questions about Abiseas that I wanted them to answer. And in the ancient law codes, there's actually 3 law codes in the 1 document, so they had to do 2 notes or answer 2 questions per document. You could not do that if you wanted to. You could just say write 3 or 4 tweets. You could put the number at wherever you feel comfortable with. I wouldn't really do more than 5. But you could do, so here they do 6 in total. But you could say, I'm not going to give you any guiding question. I had you read this article. For me, though, when I have the students do readings like this, they find it better if I do guide them. So just a suggestion, I think you might want to give them some guidance as to what the note should be about. But if you just want to test them maybe just purely on can they take notes, then you could do that. The third thing that they're asked to do then is find 2 other sources. And so that's back to determining good sources. And then we said they should do it this way. And this is in all 3 of these documents, as you can see, from a library database and from an academic website. So I had students who missed this, so I had to ding them on points and point out that they had just really gotten a regular website. And then fourthly, cite the 2 sources. So now you're getting a chance to kind of tuck them into Chicago style and bibliography, and you can see that there. Again, I think the numbers are better. And then lastly, write a thesis statement. Now this was tricky for students back here on the 2000 course. Even though I said, actually, if you're writing an essay on ancient law codes, they were confused with this. So they wanted more guidance. I didn't give more guidance, as you can see, in any of this. So this is the 2001, and here's the 2000, and again, the 2010, and these were the Summer B courses. I kept the same information. But you might want to think of maybe giving them an actual title for a writing. You can do that however you want. So anyway, all 5 of these things are basically asking them that will model to us that they did look at the module and have a good grasp of it, or don't have a good grasp of it. Hopefully when you finish this, if for instance their notes were all over the place, or they couldn't determine who the author was, or they couldn't find good sources, it gives you something to talk about with them in the class as you go back. All right. The one thing I was going to show you, so let me go back to that page, was how to tweak the 1 page, which is the citation page, and I've given you precisely the information you need to change it. So again, like I told you, this last sentence is not in what you will download. So what I want you to do is when you download this into your course, come up here to Edit, click Edit, and then you want to click HTML Editor. You may be afraid of this. Don't be afraid. It changes it all into gibberish. Make sure wherever this is, you come all the way down to the bottom. Make sure your cursor's there, and just get a couple spaces. You won't not be hurting your page at all. And then you're going to paste in this information. Again, that information for you is in the email, so you can see it. You paste it in there, and then you click Save, and you're good to go. If you want to look at it, I'm taking it out for now because I've already got it. Just go back to this, and after you put it in HTML code, you'll look at, oh, look, there it is. And the way it's structured is that this goes right to our college library page, which I thought was really important because our librarians have worked really hard on this. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully this will be something we can use. We'll talk about it as we go along in August, but I really want to give you a head start so you can make sure you start getting into your Canvas spaces.